Hey, what's up everybody? This is a Thomas Truck and Caster Company flatbed cart, and as you can see, it's seen better days. The wood is all rotted, the welds are broken on the wheel shaft, and the bearings are froze up. And you can just tell it's lived a very hard life in some factory or warehouse most of its life, and so it's time to give it a little bit of love. One of the things I think is really cool about this cart is how it has this removable truck, so you can leave the flatbed platform behind. And I guess this was a precursor to the modern day pallet jack, because you could have a bunch of different loads in your warehouse on these carts and just take this truck from cart to cart and just move material around as needed. The patent date on the side of the truck, 1234667, traces back to a 1917 patent belonging to Glenn and Eugene Howe and Ralph Teeter. But the Thomas Truck and Caster Company that made this cart wouldn't be founded until 1937 in Keokuk, Iowa. My apologies if I'm not saying that town name correctly. The Thomas Truck and Caster Company made a variety of material handling products until they went out of business in what seems to be sometime around the late 1970s.
These bolts are being a bit of a pain. I was able to get one out right here, but you can see these carriage bolts. The intent here was for the carriage bolt, the square shank here, to go into the wood that's underneath, but the wood is so corroded and rotted that these just spin. So I'm not able to get these out. I thought maybe the metal would be punched square here, but it's not the case. So that means that all the rest of these are being very difficult to get out. Because that one I had to grab with some pliers. I barely got a little bit of a grab on it and was able to get the other side off, but these other ones are being much more stubborn. So I'll have to figure something else out on how to get these to come out.
I decided the easiest thing to do would be to just take this cart outside where I could weld some nuts onto the top of these carriage bolts in order to get them free.
What is linseed?
It's the same thing as flaxseed oil.
What is flaxseed?
It's flax.
What is flax?
It's that oil mom gives you when you're needing like omegas. They take it and they boil it, and it changes it a little bit. I'm not exactly sure how. I don't think you'd want to eat this stuff though. This is like a little bit different now that it's been boiled.
And then it's just boiled, that's it?
Well, it's oil that it sets up like a finish, but it's like an oil finish, so it's really easy to repair because there's different kinds of finishes. So oil finishes like absorb down into the wood, like because it's oil, it soaks in, and that's how it protects the wood. But like film finishes lay on top of the wood, so if they get scratched, well, now you got to sand the finish down and basically rebuild that film finish up again. So for things like this that are going to get used, to get scratched up and stuff, a finish like boiled linseed oil is really nice, because if I ever want to just sand it down and throw some new boiled linseed oil on it, it's actually a very simple process.
It smells weird.
Yeah, it kind of smells funky, but I don't know, you get used to it. It does smell a little weird at first, but like it's kind of an old-fashioned finish. I mean, people used to spray it like on their barns and timber frames and stuff just to preserve them back in the day. So people still do, I guess, but it's just a good finish. The thing you got to be careful about with boiled linseed oil is this rag. You can't just like leave it wadded up like on the ground or in the corner or something, because as it cures, it actually creates heat. The curing process of the oil, it gets hot and it can spontaneously combust.
What?
So people have had their garages and shops burned down because they had oily rags that all of a sudden burst into flames.
That's weird.
Yeah. It's called spontaneous combustion. So what I do when I'm done with my rag is I go and I rinse it out first of all with water, and then I always take it outside and I just drape it over a fence post or something and let it air dry somewhere where it can get lots of air and not get so hot that
Not
whatever,
blow up.
yeah, and then once it's totally dry, then you can throw the rag away, but you don't want to just throw it in the trash or something without it being cured,
That's weird.
Yeah, kind of weird. But it's a good finish for things like this. It's what I use on my workbenches, that kind of thing.